What's going on, guys? And in this video, I need to adjust my headlights. So in one of my last videos, I put in LED lights. And one of the things about putting in LED lights is they're a lot brighter and you can see the beam a whole lot better than just that crap amber that's just out there. So I can see that one headlight's higher than the other. I'm like, let's adjust those. So this is actually really easy. All you need is some tape and a tape measure and some sort of tool depending on your vehicle that you have to adjust the headlights. For me, it's an 8mm or Phillips head, depending on if you want to do just up and down or left and right. But we'll get into that, so let's go outside where it's scary dark. All right, so now I am out here, and as you can see, there's light everywhere, but you've got that main beam right there on both sides. So I'm gonna start with one side, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some tape, and I'm gonna put the bottom of the tape right at the top of where that beam is at on both sides, and then I'm gonna back up 25 feet. You can see I'm basically right up against the wall. Back up 25 feet from where this is, and then we're gonna measure 2 inches down. And when you back up 25 feet, you need to make sure you are completely level with the wall right here. So right here, I'm just a few inches away. You can measure it if you want to, but I could just eyeball it. I'm close enough, but I suggest that you do measure it to get as accurate as possible. So what you're gonna do is measure here and measure over there, so your left and right headlights. As long as they're both the same or extremely close, you're good to go. So when you back up straight, it's gonna remain the same and you don't have to remeasure. So I got my 25 feet out here. I'm gonna back up so my headlights are 25 feet from the wall, and then we'll remeasure. All right, now I am 25 feet from where I was at the wall, and you can see my headlights are a little bit off. The one on the left is higher than the one on the right, so this is why I'm doing this. It's more prominent now that I put in the LED bulbs in my last video, so I thought this was the best time to do it. So both of those pieces of tape I have to move down. Now closer up, you can see I've got both pieces of tape moved down 2 inches, and the cool thing about this wall is the bricks are even, so I can make sure I've evened that up 2 inches down. That's where they need to be compared to where the car sits. And now we can go over here underneath the hood. So here we are on the right hand side. You're gonna see for the Forester, this little knob right here. It is a Phillips head at the end, or I'm guessing like an 8mm, something pretty small, but I've got a small Phillips head that I'm gonna use in there, and it's the same thing on the other side here in the far left hand. So it's gonna be that one and that one. That's gonna move them up and down. And again, I'm gonna be using these bad boys. I got these on Amazon. These are really cool. Super slimline little Phillips head. I also have a flat head on here. So I'm gonna use these to adjust. So you can see I've got my little Phillips head in there, and I'm gonna turn it to the right, and you can see that I'm going to adjust it up. So as I turn it right, it's going to move the headlight up. If I move it left, it's gonna go down. So I need to move it right until that beam is right below my tape marks on both sides. All right, so now I am in front of my left light, so it's being blocked out. And on the right-hand side, you can see the majority of the light, the big bulbous part of it, is way over here when I measured it over here. So it needs to be not only measured up and down, but left and right. So I need to move this big chunk over so it's center. So what I'm gonna do is right here on the inside, if we take a look here, like I said, this one, I checked it, it's 8mm here. And if you look right in here, you're gonna have a little rubber grommet over this bit in here, which is an 8mm again. So I've got an 8mm socket. I did have to move my little, my fluid reservoir here. I had to move this out of the way for my power steering. So I just move the clip over, pull it up. It's a little difficult, especially because you got 2 hoses. So I moved it down out of the way so I can get in here to fit. And we're gonna do the same thing and adjust it left and right with this one. All right, so this one is quite a bit more difficult to show in action because it takes so many turns to move it. However, I have it in place right now, if you tighten it, so if you're going clockwise with it, if you're tightening that bolt, it's gonna move the beam to the left. If you're loosening it, if you're loosening it, so turning the bolt counterclockwise, it's gonna move it to the right. So, as you can see, let me hide my other headlight here. On the right-hand side, I have definitely moved it over. I think I need to do a little bit more. It looks like a majority of that bulb brightness is right there, so I need to scoot it over just a bit more to make sure it's evened out. See, now I am covering up the right-hand one with my tushy, and the left-hand one looks way too far to the right. So I'm gonna start cranking it to the right, which is gonna slowly move that beam to the left. Very slowly. This is why I didn't record it in the first place, because it takes forever to actually move it. And it looks like it's going further to the right. So maybe it's one way on one and another way on the other. Okay, so strangely enough, it actually is the opposite on the left-hand side. As I loosen it or turn it counterclockwise, the beam moves left, and vice versa, it goes to the right. So, as you can see, the left side is now perfectly adjusted. The right-hand side is, it seems like a little bit wider on the right-hand side, but I've got it evened out, so the majority of that beam is in the middle. So, hopefully I can see a little bit better on the road. And just like that, your headlights are right where you want them. I honestly had no idea that I needed to move it left and right. I thought I just had to move one of the headlights up and down because I could see the beams were like a little off. But man, left and right were way off. So I've got everything dialed in. So one, I'm not blinding other drivers, and two, I can see much better and it's not just off. Like you can know in the back of your head, it's like something's weird. So all that is done, and now I have to fix my tape measure because it broke. See you guys in the next video.